Ed Reed, thanks for joining our Viking show tonight. How are you, my man?
I'm good, man. No complaints.
All right.
Appreciate you having me on. Y'all can thank Bryant McKinnie for calling me. Don't say nothing smart, Mac.
I was about
see
to.
you. I see you all. Don't do it.
So it begins. All right, Ed, my first question is, so the Vikings are kind of in a slump. They've been in this weird offensive slump for quite some time. Conversely, the Ravens lost at home to the Bengals, and they've had a week to think about it. Do you expect these Ravens to smash the Vikings, or do you think it'll be a competitive contest?
I think it'll be a competitive contest to start it for sure. I think as it plays out, it might turn. It could turn either way because the Ravens, maybe was looking forward to the break prior to, playing the Bengals, but they also had a tough game the week before. You know what I'm saying? I watched Minnesota play. Who that was? The Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, and they seem to be struggling a little bit, like you said. I think that defense is always tough. You just never know what you're going to get. I think their defense is pretty solid. I don't know about the offense over there, too much. I mean, you still got Kirk Cousins, who's for me, he's just the guy at quarterback. I think he's a hell of a quarterback, a hell of a backup quarterback. I think he's just that type of guy.
Fair enough.
Oh my gosh.
It's the truth. I mean, he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not in that. He's not in Brady's status. He's not in the Eli Manning's boat. He's not in that boat. He's in the boat with Romo and Fitzpatrick and what's my guy name who played for the Dolphins? Pennington. Like he's going to complete passes and not make too many mistakes, but he will make a mistake here and there.
So the Romo, Pennington, Fitzpatrick sandwich.
I love it.
I mean, there's a couple other guys in that category, you know what I'm saying? But he's just going to give you what he's going to give you. He's not, those big games when you need him. It's proven. I'm not telling you something that's not facts. Go check.
He did go down to New Orleans and beat them in the Superdome in the playoffs, so he at least has that under his belt.
Yeah, I mean, that ain't nothing, man. That was a given game. Like, you remember the play, like, for real. Like, that's
he dropped the dime
saying?
to Thielen. He dropped the dime to Thielen in overtime. And
man,
get to Rudolph.
Out of here with that, man. And like, you trying to find something. Like, I'm a real football guy. I'm gonna tell you real football shit.
I'm not discrediting it. Obviously,
I get it. That's your people and everybody on here with the Vikings. I'm not even talking about the Ravens yet. I'm just talking about Vikings. We want to talk.
I'm not going to go and say that he's elite, but I think he's
okay. That's the word. That's the word.
Backup.
Instead of saying Tony Romo and all the names, you just said it.
I think he's above. No, I'm saying I'm not saying he's elite, but I'm saying that I'll say he's above average a little bit. So
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think the rub here always is that he's paid as if he's elite, and he's just not quite that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with your
business game really good.
Sean Taylor was your backup in college at one point too, so and he went on it. Before, God rest his soul, before that happened, he was a pretty damn good football player too. So, but Sean
Taylor sat behind somebody who was teaching him some shit. So
couldn't imagine a better leader, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a sensei. He's called Mr. Miyagi in Karate Kid.
All right. Yeah. Well, with that said, I don't know, Dustin, if we're having a specific order, but I figure it's a good segue here. So Ed, nice to meet you. My name's Raun. Appreciate you joining the show. So my question more so pertains to kind of your career, and obviously you're 7th all-time NFL in interceptions, and you have the all-time interception return yards. So when it came to playing the safety position, and what was it about your mindset that was like, I'm not just going to take the ball from them, I'm going to score in the process, and I'm going to put points on the board so our offense doesn't have to. What went on in your mind kind of leading up to that, and how did you develop that ability?
Nothing went through my mind. That just was part of my makeup, man. Brian, when we was in college, I was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like that on the basketball court. You know, I had Michael Jordan affected me. That's who I grew up watching. You know, I was like that in high school. I played every position in high school, every sport. So I was a scorer. I was a person who didn't mind being on the football field or any court, you know what I'm saying, trying to make a play. You know what I'm saying? Like, that came from a lot of flag football and sandlot football growing up when we were playing 1-on-19, throw up tackle, you know, when one person had to try to score on 19 other people. So that's what that was, man. And before Mac really came and established himself with the Ravens, and he remembered some of the conversation prior to him coming, why they, you know, were questioning bringing him in, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have much offense, you know, like we needed help. So when I got to Baltimore and we didn't have much offense, Ray and I, we trained to score on defense. You like, we didn't have a choice, man, going back on the football field. Like, I was playing damn near 100 plays a game at some point, you know, and the offense only playing like 50, 60 snaps. You know, like they were taking years off our life in Baltimore, like not having offense. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that came from, man. Pitching the ball, just the will to win and wanting to win.
Was there ever a point that you wanted to or lobbied to go and play on the offensive side of the ball? Because watching a lot of your highlight films, you were a lot more elusive than some of these backs and wide receivers that played in your era as well.
Even today. Nah, man, it's funny because I be telling my kids, like, man, I got to bring y'all to my school of moves. But you know, man, I don't know, man. It was, I wanted to be that guy because I grew up watching Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. As I said, I played other positions, but, you know, coaches didn't want to get me hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I got taken off of special teams. They didn't want to get me hurt in the league and all that stuff, man. So it wasn't going to happen. I did play receiver, like one playing Joe threw the ball out of bounds. I was pissed. Like, Joe. Like, it was right before the half, dude, and he threw it out of bounds. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like, give me a chance to try to go and catch it, you know? But never had to play on offense like that. I did return a punt, though, versus Cincinnati. That's like my claim to fame right there. That's like one of my best plays ever, is that I got a chance to show that I could return punts because I did it in high school. I wanted to do it in college, but Brian will tell you, we had Phil Buchanan, we had Santana Moss, we had a lot
Roscoe
of athletes. Parrish. You know, no, Roscoe was after me.
Oh, he was
Roscoe was after me. Yeah, Roscoe was after me, man. And, you know, so, you know, I just went and started rushing kicks instead.
Well, that's another accomplishment you can add to the list. We'll have to look that up later. But,
yeah, I see y'all need to do some research. Roscoe was way after us.
Yeah. We need
Come
to do
on,
our
Ryan.
own research.
That was my bad.
You looking for the 7 Flow crew. That's not us.
You guys just had too much talent on that team to even get straight. Even looking back at it, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I'm wondering, so we know about your physical training and accomplishments, but I know you were very committed to the film room. So I'm curious, how much time would you say that you spent like a week analyzing the quarterback that you were going to go up against?
I honestly couldn't tell you how much I watched tape.
That much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I watched tape day after the game, and that same day I go to the coach's office. I watch film with them, sitting on the floor watching them break stuff down. I go home, I'm watching more tape. Like, I was watching tape like regular TV. Like, I was only really catching a movie here and there. I wasn't really watching much TV action outside of Chappelle Show and reruns of Martin. Like, I really wasn't watching much TV, you know? And outside of football games on Sunday night, Monday nights, Thursday nights, you know, like, I really wasn't watching regular TV. So it was a lot. Only day I really wasn't watching film is on Fridays.
And by comparison to your teammates, was that substantially more, would you say? Or
way more.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Way more. No question about it.
What about you, B-Mac? With you in the film room, what was your relationship with that?
I watch film. when they told us to come watch film, I would watch it. I mean, based on who the player was, like, if it was a really good player, I would watch more film on that player. But so if it was like a Jamal Reynolds or Alex Brown and Dwight Freeney, those guys, I would study their moves to see why they were beating people. With other guys who are pass rushing against, I would kind of be able to pick it up faster. But those guys who had a lot of sacks, I was trying to really study and see like if the offensive lineman was doing something wrong or what they were doing, try to figure them out.
Hey, Ed, I'm going to bring it back to present day with some of the current NFL stuff. So with the Chiefs kind of weirdly shells of themselves, the Titans now losing Derrick Henry, the Bengals inexplicably losing to the Jets. Does it feel like to you the Ravens and the Bills are headed towards a AFC championship showdown, or is it still too early for all that?
Yeah, it's still a bit early because, it's about matchups. You know what I'm saying? That's why this game could, be a close game. I do like Kurt because he don't throw interceptions. He protects the ball. He give you a chance to win. I love a quarterback like that. So it's not that I'm against it. But, it is rather early. It looks like that right now. If the playoffs started today, obviously that probably would be it. You know what I'm saying? But so much more football, man. And plus, like you said, with injuries going to change a whole lot. Mm-hmm. I'm not sold on Tennessee yet either because they got Tannehill. As you see, this safety here got something with quarterbacks. I might know a thing or two about quarterbacks.
I gotta ask
a little bit.
I gotta ask you though. So in terms of Cousins or Tannehill or Derek Carr, that breed of quarterback that's not quite elite, there is a vision on this side of the show that thinks that Cousins has the capability of getting hot like your guy Flacco did in 2012. Where does Flacco rank in that pantheon? Because nobody would ever call him elite, but he was good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Flacco won a Super Bowl.
I had a feeling that was coming.
Flacco won the Super Bowl and he didn't turn the damn ball over.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was a historic run for sure. He was fantastic in the playoffs. That's all that matters.
I'm not even going to get into it all. Like, that was one conversation that a certain number 20 had with some people in Baltimore and told them, if we don't turn the ball over, we win. Please tell him, coach, to either win. Look, Brian might remember, like, all we have to do is finish every offensive drive with the kick, a punt, or a field goal. And we're going to be all right. Just don't turn that ball over. You know what I'm saying? And granted, like our offense, man, they played their ass off. Anquan Bolden, all them guys made some hell of a catches. And that's what Kurt need around him. Like, it's on other guys too. It ain't just on the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like you said, Joe is probably in that same group from what he displayed without being around those type of guys. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if Kurt was around guys like us, he probably would win. You know what I'm saying? Like, truly. Like, I ain't tooting my own horn, but you see what's going on after that.
By all means.
I said you should.
Yeah, I mean, shit. You already know. We got a Super Bowl and a national championship together. When they asked me about you, it was no question that we bringing Big Mac in here. You know what I'm saying? We could get to that later. One of y'all can ask that question, but that makes a difference to your locker room. You know what I'm saying? That made a difference to Joe because when we all left that next year, you saw what happened. You see what's been going on. Like, it's no secret. Like, that shit matters. Yeah. So that's what they get. People don't want to hear that. Some people take offense to it. I don't give a shit.
Hey,
well, I will say this: when you're one of the greatest to ever play the game, I think you can toot your own horn a little bit, not feel bad about it.
Right.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
Yeah, no problem. Dustin, you were gonna.
Oh yeah,
say something,
Bryant. For some of the people that didn't tune in last year, can you tell us, especially with Ed on the show, the story about them wooing you? I know you said you were skittish because Michael Orr was already playing left tackle, but walk us through that one more time.
I forget the linebacker. It was another linebacker who reached out to me first, telling me that Ray was going to hit me up. He went to UM too, but he got traded to like San Fran.
T Good.
Yeah, T Good reached out to me first somehow.
Tavares Good, everybody.
Yeah, Tavares Good reached out first. And then he was letting me know, like, oh, Ray wants your number. I was like, okay. And then Ray hit me, and then Ed hit me. They hit me kind of back to back. And I was back at home at the time, and I was just trying to looking like Indianapolis. I was looking at people's roster to see like where I could possibly fit in. And then even when they called me with Baltimore, I just knew like this whole movie came out, about Mike being the blind side and stuff. And I was just like, you sure he want to move? Like, that was my conversation kind of with Ray. Like, you sure he want to move? Like, he has a whole thing about being the blind side. And then he's like, don't you worry about that. He's okay with going to the right. And I'm like, okay, I didn't want anybody to be uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable when I came in. And then Ed called too, and Ed was like, bro, it's finally, a chance to be on teams again. And I thought about that because pretty much my whole time in Minnesota, I had no Hurricanes on my team. So it gave me a chance to kind of get back around some of my
Thank God I wasn't in Minnesota. Oof.
Yeah, I was in Minnesota. No,
and it ain't nothing about Minnesota. It's more about Brian.
Oh yeah, you would have been on that Love Boat, wouldn't you?
I will say this: I shudder to think what would have happened if we had Randy Moss on one side of the ball and Ed Reed on the other side of the ball. That would have been the most exciting football team to ever watch.
Oh man, it would have been fun, no doubt. I probably wouldn't have been on the boat though, Sal.
Why not? You scared of you get seasick?
I hung with Brian enough in college to know what was going on.
Yeah.
We actually lived in a condo next to each other, like directly across the street from each other, while we both was in the NFL. When he was with Minnesota and I was with the Ravens, we were neighbors.
We could come out on our balcony and we used to yell to each other across like the way, like talk to each other from our balcony.
That's how close we were. So I already know. I saw the boat in Miami before he got to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. He had a couple warm-ups.
Yeah. I already knew.
Well, that's actually kind of perfect.
It wasn't a boat. It was a bus. It was Miami.
Love bus.
So that actually is kind of a perfect transition. As I was kind of looking up. I know you guys go back, over 20 years. The Miami team obviously had your, anniversary this a few weeks ago. But I came across a story, like it was an interview you did with Bleacher Report, sitting around playing pool or whatnot, and came across a story about you guys getting in a fight with Shannon Briggs, the boxer. And
oh snap.
So you want feel free if you don't want to share anything about it, but do you want to share any of those details? Like, how did that happen? Obviously, Big Mac's a monster of a human being, and I wouldn't imagine anyone.
Well, tell us what you heard. Yeah.
It was a 4 or 5 minute clip of you. I can't remember who was it you're talking to, but you basically said that one of your teammates that was an older teammate or older UM player, he got jumped by this boxer dude, and then you guys roll up with about 9 guys or something, and start whatever jumping in. B-Mac, you said you picked him up or picked someone up like he was Dwight Freeney. You used that reference, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, you chopping that up. You chopping it back real bad. Being that you're going to air for people, I can't let you continue.
Okay.
You chopping it up real bad. I can't let that air like that. All right, so real quick, what happened? We were still in college. Me and Mac hanging out with our friends, and the older cats are out, and we bump into them at a club. And as we bump into them, we really just got there, if I'm not mistaken, Mac. And out of nowhere, one of them come back like Stinson got knocked out. Stinson got in the fight. So, okay, we all walking out the back of the club, and they down the alley. We walk through an alley and come out on Collins. And as we come out, they sitting down, like right here, like nothing's wrong. And as we come up, I'm in the front, and this dude stand up. I'm like, oh shit. and he just, y'all want some? Like, what? He's like, Devo, you want some too, punk? What? Do I want some? Man, Big Mac came through there with that Mac walk. Hold up. It was over then. All I heard was Mac say, get the little one.
Get the little one. And I'm going to tell y'all what's so funny about that, right? Is when we were in our playoff run for the Super Bowl and we were playing the Colts, right? I was sitting on the bench and the defense was about to go out on the field, and Ed walked past me. He says, I'm going to get the little ones, you get the big
Hey, you're always protecting the blind side.
Real stuff, man. But yeah, we got in a little scuffle with Shannon Briggs with a bunch of teammates, and Shannon Briggs he was getting hit from all type of ways, man, and just ran right through that shit. So
Self-defense. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, shout out to the champ, man. I know that's a lot of head trauma he probably been through, in life to get to the point to knock out a complete strain. Like, if you know Brian Stinson, Brian Stinson don't mess with nobody. So we was like, really, like, what happened? And we were like, bro, wasn't we like on like 13 in Washington or 14 in Washington?
We were up there around 13.
And when we finally caught up with Brian Stinson, he was on like first in Ocean.
So
like,
I heard you say that.
Like how he got down there.
So how far of a run? As you said, he ran the whole way. Again, in the interview I saw, how far of a run is that?
Man, that's
13 blocks.
13 blocks.
All right.
Wow. Well, I was just going to ask, I was going to ask for some more Bryant stories, but I don't know how you top that one. Maybe if you have some more fun ones.
I mean, Big Mac, like me and Mac were really close. As a lot of us were in college, and even after college, obviously he can call me and get me to a 9:30 interview. But
are you in Miami, Ed, now?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in Miami. No, I'm in Miami. I'm the chief of staff. So yeah, I'm at
University of Miami.
Right. Tell us about that.
Wait, let me tell you about Mac.
yeah. Let me knock it off topic. I'm sorry.
So Mac and I really close. That's my guy. I been to his home. He done been to my home. Know my family. I know his family.
You know Shelly?
Yes, I know aunties, cousins, everybody. And me and Mac, like, we were really into like the nightlife, so to say. Like I said, I probably would have been with him. So we used to go out a good bit, but we used to do it in a manageable way where people can enjoy themselves, would be productive on Saturday. So after the game, we would do our thing. And we had a little spot we used to go to. Let's not call it our own club, but we had a spot that we used to go to. And we were the entertainment to some degree. Like we in there playing the music. I'm on the microphone, and
it was the MC.
Yeah, like Mac was rapping. Mac used to spit bars, and he got bars. Like, you already know he could dance. Like, he's into the hip hop world. Like, this dude is one of the most talented and smart brothers I ever met in my life, and he was into that world already. You know what I'm saying? And I mess around with music, love music. Obviously, I DJ and stuff. And long story short, he went on to do something we talked about, and that was starting a label. Like, he really engulfed himself in that. You know what I'm saying? And I was so proud of him, man, just the things he's done and accomplished. I was worried about him for a minute, but I knew he was I knew he was really smart and will prevail through. And, look at this guy now, so love you, brother.
I'm going to tell y'all, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm going to tell y'all one story. One time I didn't hang out. We were in school. I didn't hang out with, I think like him, I know Joaquin, I don't know who all it was. And Shockey and I lived in the same house. And I was asleep, so apparently they must have woke up Shockey first. And then Shockey was like, why y'all don't go wake up Brian? I thought somebody was I thought we had a home invader. So all of a sudden I see the door open. I'm not like a heavy sleeper. The door opens up and I see somebody come running. And here's Ed. I like put my foot up like to like kick the person off me. They're like, wait, they cut the light on this Ed. So then they all came in our house. They stole one of the trophies out of the our Heck athletic building and left it in their living room. And I told Shaq, I said, listen, you better figure out how to get that back in there because I don't got nothing to do with this. They left it there and left the house. And we got a whole, like, one of our UN championship trophies sitting in the living room.
Oh, my. How did it get back?
I shot somebody got it back. I was like, you got to figure that out.
I don't know.
Hey, Ed, you played against the Vikings twice in your career. One time a loss in 2005, and then once a win in 2009 against the Favre Vikings. Do you have any memories that are unique to the Vikings or to Minnesota?
We didn't win in 2009?
No, that was one of your losses.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I dropped interceptions from Brett Favre. That's all I remember.
Yeah, that'll
it
make
was
it
cold. It was cold that night. I remember I hit one of their receivers really hard. I can't remember who it was, but I remember hitting one of them really hard coming across the middle.
Sidney Rice or Berrien.
I just remember it being cold in Baltimore. I think when we played up there, I don't really recall it as much, man. You know, because I didn't play the Vikings a whole lot in my career. So it just, it's like a blur.
No, that's all right. Ron, what do you got next for Ed Reed tonight?
Well, now you mentioned that you remember dropping an interception from Favre. Now, when you get as many interceptions as you do in your career, it's probably hard to remember all the ones you picked off. But do you remember the ones that you missed more than you do the ones that you got? Because I have to imagine that might eat.
I remember 5 of them I dropped. I remember 5 of them.
Okay.
All of them was from Brett Favre.
Is it something the way he threw the ball, or
I don't know. Maybe the Lord didn't want me to have any interceptions from Brett Favre.
He was already going to lead history in interceptions anyways. Didn't want to get
right.
Dustin, I think we lost in 2005 and won in 2009.
Oh, did I screw it up? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right. Well, anyway, so my question pertains more so, obviously you spent most of your career with Baltimore, and you look around the league these days and there's a lot of teams or organizations that have dysfunction around it one way or another, whether it's complete turnover from time to time or, always in the news for good or usually for bad. But Baltimore is always one of those teams that is always very stable. Like you don't hear about anything, even when, injuries are depleting the team like this year with all the running backs going down or, Orlando Brown wanting to play on the left side. Like it's all kind of handled quietly. Is there something, to his dad. And is there something like about that? Is that an organizational thing that is very unique in the league? I know the Steelers, I know that you probably hate them as well, but they're one of those teams that always seem to be very just run well. Is that from the ownership on down, or is that something that Harbaugh kind of has initiated with that team?
That's ownership on down, man. Any successful owners, any successful business starts from top down. I'm dealing with that now. Like we got to get the top in order to get the locker room straight. Those are the guys leading the team at the end of the day. Of course, you got to get the right men in there too, but that's still drafting, right? That's still, interviewing guys and seeing if they're going to fit your system. And once you get enough of leaders in there, once you get the right leaders in there, then you can kind of bring guys in and out, to see if they're going to fit in, see if your leaders can help make that work. You know what I'm saying? But no coach can lead the locker room. Not in the NFL. No team is led by a coach and win, like championship. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have leaders in the locker room. Coaches coach and players play. Like we had a thing, and granted Harbaugh, tried to do his thing, and he do his thing now, up there in Baltimore. But you got to have the players in that locker room, man. in order to get over that hump. You might have success and continue to win, but at the end of the day, the leadership you needs to be between those lines. If they being led by a coach, what's going to happen when they're on the football field?
And now kind of being on the other side of that now, with your position with Miami that you are, would you, in the role that you're at now, be able to deal with that 2001 team that you guys had and all the players and personalities?
What about that?
Or would you, like in your role that you're in now, being on the other side of things, would you yourself in this role be able to deal with or be able to handle all the personalities and just the unique individuals that were on that team that you and BMAC were on that won the national championship?
Yeah, man. Like, I've coached before. I've been around a lot of coaches. I've been around a lot of players, man. I have a football camp I've been doing for 20 years. I coach my little league, my kids' little league team. Like, I've seen a lot of this shit. And my problem ain't with the players. My problem with grown men. I have more situations with coaches and their pride than I do with players. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not respected as a coach, though I'm the chief of staff. I don't coach. But I'm still not even looked at like that. All the Hall of Fame, all the accolades, all the interceptions, all the studying film I've done, that shit is not respected. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may think it is, but it's not. And it's mind-blowing to me. You know what I'm saying? But I also know some of the reasons why. Not nothing to talk about here, but some real shit. Right. Excuse my French. I don't even know if this is for kids or not, but like,
you're good.
I don't have a problem with dealing with players, man. I've been dealing with players a long time. If he's going to take to it, he's going to take to it. If he's not, I would know, because I'm dealing with players now. I can see like they don't give a shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back to the accolades, the study and tape, played 12 years. You would think that these kids would reach out to me.
Yeah.
That's not the case. You would think that a coach would ask me about coverage.
How would they not? That makes no sense to me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. Like, yeah, man. Even for this matchup this week, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just mind-boggling. But I also know coaches want to do their thing. Plus, if you never reach the level that we've reached, like, that shit becomes personal. Like, no, you did your thing. I'm gonna do this. Like, I don't want your help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna show you that I can do this shit too. Some shit like, I don't know what they thinking is.
It's a pride thing. It sounds like egos.
Yeah.
Talk about it, Sally, but they don't want to hear the real. Like, when I tell it real, you get mad.
Not me. I always keep it real.
No.
I always keep it real.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you, Sally. I'm looking dead in the camera to the person on the other side of the lens who's going to see our interview and everything.
Oh, okay.
They get mad. Like, they get mad. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, like you said, it's their pride. Sally, like, truly. Like, I don't want for shit. I just want to win. That's all I wanted in Baltimore. And I felt like a lot of other people wanted to win, but they also had their agenda. Only agenda I had was winning the championship. Brian, to tell you, I used to have supplements in my locker. You got $1 million, a whole lot of money around me in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole lot of money around me in the locker room. They can buy their own supplements. They would not buy their own supplements. They would come to my locker and ask, can they have that shit? I want to win. And they know, just about, like, for games, for sure. And I wanted to win so bad to where I'm like, here. Like, my shit was all legal, too, like, by the way. Like, this all natural shit. This ain't no illegal shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never did none of that stuff. So, but they would come to my locker and want my stuff. I'm like, dude, you got money. But they'll go buy the cars and the rings and all. And coaches wonder why I'm mad at them. Y'all about this bullshit, man.
Well, can you explain what do you do in your day-to-day position with the U then? If it's not anything to do with coaching, so what is it?
For NCAA, AA stuff, I don't coach. I'm more of a consultant mentor. You know, you got to ask somebody in the program to give you my actual title. I'm there for them kids at the end of the day. I'm there for the organization at the end of the day. Like I've told the head coach, I'm not there to make friends, but we cool. Like we're going to be cool because my position that you asked me to come in and bring the standard back that we had, every time I come to you, it's going to feel like I'm not part of the team because you asked me to get it back to where it used to be. So if I see something, if I'm coming to you to let you know, like, you need to change this, you need to change that. You need to change this, you need to change that. Look at this, look at that. Who wants to hear that all the time? You know what I'm saying? So my job is a little tough. You know what I'm saying? Because I see a lot of what they don't see. Even when I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm also a fan of football. You know, so I can look at a game and be like, oh man, like, I know, like you asked a question earlier, Ron, about just organizations and ownership. There only been about 10 teams, different teams that's won championships in the last 20 years.
Right.
If 10. And that's a big ass fall off between a lot of other organizations. Like, and when they last won a championship or even been in the playoffs and won 2 games. That's because it's bad ownership. Like, right. I don't need to say no names. Like, you know, the organizations of certain owners need to get out of the way. You
Jets, your former team.
Yeah, but it's also like, yeah, the Jets, like, I was there. And, I mean, they could have brought me back and they chose not to. Like, stupid move. And I've heard the reason was because they were drafting listen to this. They drafted a young safety. And they don't want me to be in the locker room with young safety. Like, are you stupid?
Sounds like it.
Like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. I was in Houston, the most toxic place I ever seen in my life. I learned a whole lot. But that organization, before Bob McNair, rest his soul, before he died, you know, rest the man, I knew he was the person to say what he said about letting the prisoners run the I knew that. I said that. That's why they got rid of me to some degree. You know what I'm saying? And I pointed that out. And it wasn't about them. It's just like I knew that before we played in Arizona because I got cut after Arizona. And I'm pointing all this stuff out to my teammates. But they were so less of men. And I got so much respect for them guys. But when it came to standing up as a man and fighting against bullshit, they wasn't with it. That's just the truth of it. They say what they want. I love them all. But a lot of them was just there collecting checks. And granted, a lot of people didn't have that voice or even was that vocal. You know, so it's a whole lot of this country in the NFL football. So that's what you get. You're also getting a lot of rotated coaches in the NFL that can't coach. Truth is, right?
Yeah.
It just is what it is. I can name a bunch of them. A lot of them been through Baltimore. Some of them been through New England, right? I had somebody talk to me about it was about coaching, proven coaches, hiring proven coaches. I said, what is a proven coach? Is a proven coach coming out of New England? Because when they leave New England, they ain't shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So they proven coaches. You know, it's like
Tom Brady makes a lot of coaches look good, huh?
like we did that as players.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches got head coaching jobs because of what we did on the field. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing in the NBA, but the NBA embraces and ran by players, not the owners. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got, look, man, I got a lot of respect for a lot of owners in the NFL. But the fact of the matter is ran that old school way. Truth is, I love the league. I play twice on Sunday if I could. You know understand? But the truth is the truth. Like the fact, like the shit is in your face, man. Ain't no secret to it. I love my league, man, but we can do a lot better. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than the shit that came out with Gruden.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they only they ain't talking about the emails no more. Nobody's saying shit. Like nobody else was on the email.
Every other owner is all of a sudden immune to what
bullshit,
man.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Right.
Excuse my French. Like that's bad. You know what I'm
Definitely
saying?
shady. So
yeah, man. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like the money means more, man, to folk rather than the people, the product, which is the players. Even for the NFLPA. Y'all getting me into some shit right now.
Yeah.
No, Brian has talked about how being in the concussion or the CTE tests and whatnot, like how he's
how we not get that information?
Like,
like how we not get that information? That's crazy. Like we can't get that information.
Yeah, a lot of money that they're protecting there. So,
hey Ed, we'll got time for one more question from each. My final question, sir, is who do you consider the most underrated safety in the 2021 NFL?
I couldn't answer that question, to be honest with you, man.
No, okay.
I honestly couldn't, man, because I don't see enough consistency out there.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like 1 minute guy's doing this and then he's hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I missed 16 games out of my 12-year career. That's one season. Out of my 12 years, I missed 16 games. I don't see enough consistency, man, of making plays. Like if I played in this league right now, do I have a shit ton of interceptions? Like it's built to make plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't see those plays being made like that consistently. You know, and I don't know, man. Maybe I need to watch it a little bit more. You know, they got some guys out there, man. Like I like Bubba. You know, I just like football, man. I like the DBs, what they doing. I'm loving what that kid doing in Dallas. I was a huge fan when y'all had Rhodes.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I loved him as a competitor, man. I thought he could have really got into being one of those elite guys, but you know, these young men and men now are more concerned with off the field shit. Like a lot of kids, even today growing up, don't watch football. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they not fans of the game. They doing all the other stuff and just want to play on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if the studying and the work ethic commitment is there. Because they do a lot less than we did. Like,
do you think social media affects that? Their concern with being on Instagram and all that stuff?
I mean, we could say that. We could say it has some effect. I'm sure it does to some degree. Like, but that ain't nothing but the media. That's the same shit. Like, that's Mike Preston writing about you and shit. That's there. Like, you're going to have the critics. The critics always been there. Mm-hmm. Critics always been there.
Hey, Ron, what's your final question for Ed Reed tonight?
Right. So yeah, Ed, like I will say this, like, you know, I've always been a big fan of the way you played the game. Just, you know, knowing that over the middle, you can't just make a throw. It's because it might get picked off by number 20.
Anywhere on the field.
Yeah,
Anywhere on the field, Ron.
And I still have yet to see a safety play the game the way that you have, because the ground you covered is just unreal. But here, I wrote them down because I'm just so it's said out loud. So NCAA champ, NFL Super Bowl champ, defensive player of the year, 9-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro, all-decade team, first ballot Hall of Famer. So your resume speaks for itself. But what out of those individual or team accomplishments are you most proud of?
In the NFL, the Super Bowl.
Anywhere. Oh.
I mean, so NFL is Super Bowl. In college, college and NFL is two different levels for me. But the Super Bowl is it, man. Like truly, that was a team accomplishment. It's the ultimate team accomplishment. That's what we set out to do. We focused on it the whole entire year. Brian will tell you that. I never saw a routine go. And Brian, truly, we went all the way up into Super Bowl day with the same routine.
I told you he made me bring my tennis racket out to New Orleans because that was part of my routine. And I had to play my head coach's assistant in tennis because that was part of my routine on Thursdays. I played tennis on Thursdays.
That's what we did.
And weighed in on Friday, so I had to bring my racket and everything.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we did, man. That was the ultimate accomplishment, man. That's better than any accolade, individual accolade, to achieve something with your team. And that's what everybody set out to do, man. Win a championship.
And then taking it then a step further, I know I asked Bryant this question last year sometime, and he had couldn't pick one. But say one had to be erased from memory completely, either college, your championship year in college, or your Super Bowl year in the pros. Which one are you eliminating?
The pros.
Okay. All right. That would be, in my mind, how it would work out, because college seems more like a brotherhood. It's more family. You're working for the guy next to you, not just.
Yeah, we were together. We were together consistently longer. I don't know, man. It was just different in Miami, man. It's just something different about what we did. But like I said, man, there's two different levels. You really can't compare the two. I posed the question to Brian and them about our national championship team, because everybody was saying that we were good enough to be the NFL team. And once I got to the NFL and played the years I played, I'd still, I'd asked that question to them, and they was some of them agreed, some of them said they didn't think we could, some of them said we could. I was I know we couldn't have. Because it's a total different level, man.
Yeah, it's more technique. It's a lot of things you still learn when you get to the next level.
That's saying something, because it comes up every year. An 0-16 team, it's Alabama will beat them, but it's
no, it's not gonna happen. No college football team is gonna ever beat a pro team, bro.
Because even at the worst, that NFL team has 53 NFL players. The college team, you guys are damn near close with 39.
You got grown ass 27.
Men. The strength is different too.
Yeah. It's grown ass men, regardless. Yeah. And pride is a motherfucker.
You're right.
I'm glad to hear you say it, though.
I picture myself being a pro, and a college team comes in, I would feel disrespected. I would really show them, you know what I mean? So you have to think about it like that too.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen, man.
All right, Dad. Why don't we'll get you out of here. Give me your score prediction and winner for Vikings Ravens this Sunday.
My prediction?
Hell yeah.
Man, that is funny. I'll go with 30-17 Baltimore for the victory.
All right. And we appreciate you talking to us, sir. We'll hope you come back and join us.
Thank you very much.
Not at 9:30 at night, man.
Not at 9:30?
No.
That's all B-Mac.
We've been on here for almost an hour.
That's B-Mac.
No, it's 8:30 for them, though, so they're an hour behind us.
I ain't got nothing to do with Central Time, bro.
You're the one that insists on this time, B-Mac, so you can get yourself set up for club time.
Mac, somebody owe Eddie a check.
Hey, look, let's put it this way. Like, I'll get up at 3 a.m. to talk to you again, Ed Reed.
Yeah,
so
same.
I'm not going to be up at 4 a.m. to talk to you.
What I mean is, whatever time is convenient for you, I would be happy to oblige. So.
If we get Big Mac out the damn dance studio before 9:30, then we can do it.
Right.
Working on that footwork for his comeback.
You know it.
All right, everyone.
I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Likewise, Ed.
Appreciate it.
So
Take
nice
it
to
easy.
meet you.
That's all we got for tonight. And Skol Vikings.